So if you guys follow me on my social media, you'll know that a few days ago I was lucky enough to go to MWC 17. Now yes, there were a lot of impressive things there, but something in particular that caught my eye was what I found at the ZTE booth. So I spent most of my time here with 4 different smartphones, each one more impressive than the last, and the last one honestly just blew my mind. But the first one is the new ZTE Blade V8, one of the few mid-range smartphones that actually has a dual 13 megapixel camera. All the way around, it's pretty solidly spec'd too, with the Snapdragon 435, as well as an Adreno 505 and 3GB of RAM. I'm not a huge fan of the software on board, but all the way around it feels very solid, more than you'd expect it to given the price. Almost on the other side of the spectrum, we have the ZTE Axon 7 Max, and this is a really beefy smartphone with a focus on large, bold, vibrant decisions. It's got a 6-inch 1080p screen, also a dual 13 megapixel camera, this time with 4K, and a 4GB of RAM and a Snapdragon 625. It's also got a gigantic battery, 4100 mAh, which should be able to push through 2 days. It's pretty pricey, but actually has a lot of cool features such as a holographic display. So then moving even further up the ladder, we have the ZTE Axon 7, essentially the company's fully fledged flagship smartphone. And it doesn't hold back. There's a 20 megapixel camera capable of 4K, 5.5-inch 1080p screen, and 4GB of RAM and the Snapdragon 820. It's fully fledged, no doubt about that. And yes, there are smartphones in a similar price bracket with more impressive specs on paper, but the way the company's trying to sort of sell the ZTE Axon 7 is that it's one of the 3 smartphones in the world to support Google Daydream. They say that the combination of the impressive hi-fi chip, the dual stereo speakers, 2K screen, and the powerful internals make it a perfect fit for Daydream VR, so they've been working with Google to optimize it so it works perfectly. And I did try it, and I have to say, it's really impressive. So then we have a very interesting smartphone. Or I should probably more accurately call it a concept. This isn't in a post-production phase, but this is more a demonstration of the technology on offer. This is the ZTE Gigabit, and as suggested by the name, it can achieve download speeds of 1 GB per second. Now to do that, it basically uses 4x4 MIMO Wi-Fi antennas, and then it's also got the Snapdragon 835 with the X16 LTE modem. We hooked the antenna up to a machine to test the data output, and it was rock solid, anywhere between 0.95 and 1 GB per second. And the implications are vast, you might not even realize them to begin with. For example, you could use this to download 4K HDR VR content, or the data speed is so fast that cloud storage is as fast as flash storage, so you could instantly store files, read and write, straight to the cloud. So there we go guys, that was the ZTE booth. I really hope you found that interesting, I certainly did. The ZTE Gigabit especially, whilst not in a post-production model, whilst you can't buy it on shelves, as a proof of concept is impressive. Hopefully more phones will come in the future which support similar features, and I honestly can't wait.